The equation above defines a circle in the xy plane. What are the coordinates of the center of the circle? Now, I'm going to show you two methods for answering this question. One of them, and maybe the fastest way to do this, is using Desmos. But then if you really want to learn how to solve these and learn the algebra behind this for the future and also for your future math classes, hang around after the solution using Desmos. So then I'll show you that. So let's go over to Desmos and I'll show you what it looks like. So I've gone ahead and I've typed in that equation in Desmos that we were given. Here it is. And of course, it's going to graph a circle. Now you might be wondering, how come I can't see the center immediately? Well, that's because the circles on Desmos don't show you the center, but we can figure it out. So guesstimating, you can kind of see that the center is like somewhere right here in the middle, right? Like in this area. So if I click on the circle, it's settling on -10, 4. And then if I click on this other side, it's settling on -10, -20. All right, so that's the vertical axis. And then over here, if we just decide to count the places vertically, the highest we are going is 4. The lowest we are going is -20. So from -20 to that 4 is 24 places. So if you cut that in half, the center, that's where the center would be. If you cut the distance of 24 places, is 12 places, right? So from -20, if you count 12 places, you end up at from -20, count up 12 places, you end up at -8. So we know the y value of our center is going to be -8. Now, if you glance over to the question, once again, there's only one answer with a -8 y value, so it's got to be B. So that's the cheat code way of doing this question. We know it's going to be B, but now for the algebraic version of this question, this is the equation of a circle in what's known as general form. Now, general form is no good. It doesn't give you the center, neither does it give you the radius of that circle. So then I'm going to teach you how to figure that out. First, we're going to need to do something called completing the square twice. So I'm going to bring the like terms down here, and then I'm going to add a blank space. And then I'm going to continue on with the rest of the question with the y values. That is, we have y squared plus 16y plus, I'm going to leave a blank on that side. It still equals -20. Now, you heard me say we're going to complete the square twice. The reason we're completing the square twice is because we have two quadratic equations that we're working with. Oh, and by the way, since I left 2 blanks on the left side, I have to leave those same 2 blanks on the right side, because whatever you do to one side of an equation, you've got to do to the other as well. So how do we fill the blanks? For those of you who might remember, we use a formula which is b divided by 2 squared. Now the b value for the first quadratic is 20. So for this one, we would have 20 divided by 2 squared. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 10 squared is 100. So I'm going to put 100 right here and a 100 on this other side. Now let's work on the second quadratic equation. Same thing, b over 2 squared to fill the blank. The b value is 16 over 2, then we're squaring that. So that's 8 squared is 64. So we have a 64 there. And of course, I'm going to put the same 64 on the right. Now the next step is simply factoring each side. So starting with this, the x values quadratic equation, when you complete the square, you know that you're going to have 2 of the same exact factors. In fact, for both of them, that's the case. So very, very easy. You take the square root of the last and the first terms. So this will be the square root of x squared is x. The square root of 100 is 10. And you always copy the first sign. So it'll be a plus for this one. We're going to repeat that for the other one. Again, square root the first term, square root the last term. That's what goes in the parentheses. So we'll have y, square root of 64 is 8. And again, you always copy the first sign. So this will be a plus. And on the right side, we'll just need to simplify. -20 plus 100 plus 64 is 80 plus 64. This will be 144 on the right side. So now we've converted the original equation from general form to its equivalent in standard form. Now the standard form is useful in that you can read the center of the circle directly from the standard form. You simply change the values that are in the parentheses to the opposite sign. So that would be -10, and -8. And again, you find that that's b, right? So using algebra, we've proven it. Using decimals, we use the cheat code. Now, if the question were to find the radius of that circle, you always take this side and you square root it. So the radius would be the square root of 144, which is 12. The radius of that circle is 12. Simple as that. And the reason why that's the case, standard form of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals radius squared. So this is exactly what we were doing up here. As you can see, the center is the h comma k value. Boom shakalaka. I hope that makes sense to you.